another Sunday meal prep. Super excited today. Don't have to work, so I can do my normal meal prep. I am getting a little bit of a later start than what I wanted to, but if you watched my Saturday vlog, weekend vlog, grocery haul, then you know that we didn't get our groceries picked up until this morning because I was so late getting it put in, but it is all good. I am ready now and ready to get into the meal prep for the day. So for our 2 meals today, we are going to do chicken fajitas for one, and then for the other, I'm going to make the homemade chicken noodle soup along with the corn muffins, and I'm bringing the cookies back today. I've been missing my cookies the past couple of weeks, so we are making some chocolate peanut butter protein cookies, so excited about that. I will make my breakfast for the week. For my lunches, I am going to just have a couple of frozen meals by Frontera. If you've never tried those, they're actually really good. I used to eat them all the time. I'm going to make some rice in the rice cooker, just probably a cup of rice, and do like add half a cup. No, I need to make 2 cups of rice because what I'm going to do is add 1 cup to each one of the meals, and then I'm going to make it into 2 each. So I will have 4 meals for my lunches, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I need to remember to cook my rice in the rice cooker. I was going to do the Uncle Ben's ready rice, but I thought, you know what, I've got a ton of rice here. I've kind of been stocking up on my jasmine rice, and it's just as easy to throw a cup of rice in the rice cooker as it is to put it in the microwave for a few seconds. And I feel like it's better, you know, I can season it up if I want to and add the pepper and stuff and make like the seasoned rice, or I can leave it plain, whichever. So that is the plan for the menu today, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead and click that red subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell and give this video a like. It really helps out my channel. And also follow me over on Instagram. I'm going to leave my Instagram handle for you here on the screen as well. And then I have a great Facebook group. It is called Finding Our Way. This is the icon to that Facebook group. There is a direct link down in the description box to that group. And I co-admin that with Roy from Recipes with Roy and Bree from Balancing Life with Bree. Also, a couple of other things, be sure to check out the description box for links to the recipes and stuff like that. Now, I am not tracking in my WW app at the moment. I have decided to try out the healthy app. It's only 30 bucks for the whole year. So I went ahead and downloaded the app the other day, and I'm doing that to kind of double track with points and macros. Just to kind of see. So I've realized like I'm pretty carb heavy on a lot of my stuff. So that's one reason that I'm trying to cut out some of the fruit this week. So with that being said, I will not have the links to the recipe in my WW app, but you can always input it yourself into your own apps, whatever app you use, MyFitnessPal, Healthy, WW. Just, you know, take the recipe that I have listed below or the link to the recipe, input it, and then you'll be good to go. Once you save it, then it is in there forever. So I chose to do the Better Balance plan under the Healthy app, and that will be based on the Blue plan, which for the most part, everything that I've eaten has still been the same as my Blue plan points were since it's been under the personal points. So that's one reason that I'm doing that, so that I can still provide points and also count macros, because I want to track macros and I don't want to double track in 2 different apps. So I'm going to see how I like the Healthy app. I've tried it out this past week just kind of as a trial run, and it's okay. You know, I'm still trying to figure some things out on it, but I do like the fact that I can see what my daily points are and my macros, or you can see calories if you want to. You can choose to if you download the premium version. You can just use the free version if you want to, and just track points or pick whatever diet plan that you want. They have several different ones that you can choose from. So anyway, also down in the description box is going to be links to the my Amazon store. If there's anything that I use today, it's probably going to be linked in my Amazon store, or I can link it if you ask me to. So yeah, with all that being said, let's get into the video now. All right, so here is Charlie's prep for the day. We are ready to get started. He's going to dice up the celery and the baby carrots for the chicken noodle soup. And then we have a bunch of peppers, which you did not see these in the grocery haul because Charlie picked these up the other day when he went to Sam's Club. So 4 of them he will dice up for my breakfast and pizzas and stuff. And then the other 8 of them he will slice up for the chicken fajitas. And then over here we have 2 packs of chicken. We're going to use 2 out of the freezer that he has vacuum sealed for the chicken noodle soup. And then he's going to just go ahead and dice up 3 of these fresh ones for the chicken fajitas and then vacuum seal up the rest of them. You know, it's easier just to use the fresh chicken whenever you're chopping them up, but I don't want to leave the ones sitting in the freezer that we have vacuum sealed. I feel like we need to constantly be rotating them out. So that is the plan. So we're going to use 2 from the freezer, and then he will vacuum seal up what he does not use out of these 2 packs. And that is all of his prep today. We don't have any fruit to prep. We have a little bit of fruit left over from the Mother's Day lunch that we had yesterday, so I can have some fruit later in the week if I need it. And again, I am trying to kind of cut back on my fruit this week just to see how I feel, and you know, just to cut back on eating so much fruit overall, because I love it, and I know it's 0 calories. I mean, I know it's 0 points, but it still has calories and carbs and stuff in it. And I've started like tracking in the Healthy app as well, just to kind of keep up with my macros. I feel like it's a lot of carbs that I'm eating, and so just going to try to see if I can cut back on the carbs like that a little bit. So anyway, with all that being said, let's roll into Charlie's prep now.
That's something, baby, that I can go without, just like a poison in me. You're all that I'm about, loving the highs, don't mind the lows. It's getting out of my control. I want that something, baby, 'cause I can go without. Mama used to tell me love ain't right if it ain't easy, but I'm in too deep to walk away from you. Papa used to tell me love should never drive you crazy, but I lose my mind if you don't get his suit. I'm addicted to your love, to your love, your love. I'm never gonna get enough. I'm a sucker for your love, for your love, your love. I'm never gonna get enough. You can end it, say it's over, but I'm never going sober. I'm addicted to your love, to your love, your love. I'm never gonna get enough of your love. I want your love. I need your love, 'cause I'm never gonna get enough. Can't say I'm hurting, baby, but I don't feel too good. It's like I'm burning lately when you're not in my blood. Loving the highs, don't mind the lows. It's getting out of my control. I need your loving, baby. It's all I'm thinking of. Mama used to tell me love ain't right if it ain't easy, but I'm in too deep to walk away from you. Papa used to tell me love should never drive you crazy, but I lose my mind if you don't get his suit. I'm addicted to your love, to your love, your love. I'm never gonna get enough. I'm a sucker for your love, for your love, your love. I'm never gonna get enough. You can end it, say it's over, but I'm never going sober. I'm addicted to your love, to your love, your love. I'm never gonna get enough of your love. I want your love. I need your love, 'cause I'm never gonna get enough of your love. I want your love. I need your love, 'cause I'm never gonna get enough.
All right, I am ready to get started on my chicken fajitas. So I have everything set up here ready to go. Of course, Charlie diced up the chicken breast for me and the bell peppers as well. And then I'm going to use 2 bags of the cauliflower rice, 2 cans of Rotel. I typically like to use 1 can of fire roasted and 1 can of original, but they were out of the fire roasted at Kroger, so I'm just going to use 2 cans of original and just put in a little extra ground cumin and chili powder. It will be fine. I also like to use this fajita seasoning, which as you can see, it's almost empty, and I will need more than that. So I do have this packet of fajita seasoning that's been in my cabinet for I don't know how long. It needs to be used up, so we're going to use that up today. And then this is what really makes the chicken and the peppers really good. This fajita skillet sauce from Frontera. Highly recommend this. Super low in points. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get my peppers going first, and possibly the cauliflower rice, and then we will work on the chicken, because the chicken will probably cook pretty quickly in this pan. Then we will add it into the pan with the peppers. So the big red pan, I'm going to put my peppers in and put the lid on, And then the middle one there will hold the cauliflower rice, and then we will cook the chicken here. So let's get this going. And this is actually not really that long of a meal to prepare, so there are a few different little parts to it, but then it comes together real quick. Okay, so I'm going to get the peppers in here ready to go. I'm just going to spray it with some of the olive oil spray, and then we have a beautiful spread of peppers here. And then for now, what I'm going to do is just salt and pepper, and maybe put just a little bit of the fajita seasoning on there. And then we will get more on there once we mix the chicken and everything together with it. But I really just want the peppers to soften up right now. And a little fajita seasoning. And I'll just give it a little stir, and then we're just going to pop the lid on it and just kind of let it do its thing. Once it gets going, I will turn the heat down because I have it on high right now. Okay, now for the cauliflower rice, same thing. I'm going to spray my pan. I'm going to go ahead and spray the one for my chicken too. So I can just put this away. Then I'm going to go in with 2 bags of this Green Giant mixed veggies cauliflower medley. You can use just plain cauliflower also. And I did break these bags up so that they're not in like the huge chunks, because I really need it to kind of soften up quickly before I add in the Rotel and everything. So there's both bags of those. And for now, I'm just going to salt and pepper and put the lid on, and then we will season it up once it softens up. And give it a little stir as well. And pop the lid on that one. And now for the chicken. So I have my chicken here. And what I'm going to do is salt and pepper the chicken on this side. Put it in the pan, salt and pepper the other side. I'll let it brown up a little bit, and then we will season it up. And then I'm just going to salt and pepper this side. And while everything is getting warmed up, and once the chicken starts cooking, then we will come back and season everything up. So I will see you in just a few seconds. Okay, so the chicken is coming along nicely. It's halfway cooked. I'm going to go ahead and add in the fajita seasoning. I'm going to use the rest of this and then probably some from the packet. So that finishes that off. I really do like that Badia fajita seasoning and taco seasoning. They're both really good. And then I'm also going to add in some chili powder and ground cumin. And then we'll just let this finish cooking, and then we're going to get the cauliflower rice going as well. It's softened up now. I just refilled the ground cumin and didn't want to come out. Okay, so the cauliflower rice is pretty softened up now. We are going to go ahead and add in the Rotel and the seasonings. So I'm going to use 2 cans of original Rotel. So there's 1 and 2. And then we're also going to use probably the rest of this packet of fajita seasoning in here. And then of course some chili powder and ground cumin. I'm just going to take the lid off that because that does not want to come out easily. So basically on the cauliflower rice, I'm just going to mix it together well. I'm not going to put the lid back on because I want all of the liquid to evaporate. And then once it has, it will really look like fried rice or Spanish rice, and it's delicious. And if you don't want it overly spicy, then you can just use mild Rotel and not add in the chili powder and ground cumin. Okay, so the cauliflower rice is stirred well. I'm just going to let it set now and finish cooking the chicken. Of course, y'all know I like my chicken good and well done, and I also want it to be a little bit seared on the outside edges of it, so I'll probably overcook it a little bit. Then we will be ready to add in the Frontera sauce. So I'll give this a couple of minutes and then I'll be right back. Let's check on our peppers over here. I think they're coming along nicely. Yep, they're softening up good. I'm probably just going to leave the lid off of those. I will add the chicken into this pan with the peppers here in a minute to mix those together. So the chicken's done, I think. It's starting to crisp up good. I'm going to turn the heat down on it a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and put in most of this packet of the fajita sauce, if I can open it. And I'm going to save a little bit, and then once I mix it with the peppers, I'll put the rest on then. And I'm just going to give my cauliflower rice a stir. It is coming along nicely. We just need for all of that liquid to evaporate, and then it will be done. So I think my chicken is done. What I'm going to do is pull the pan for the peppers over here and put the chicken in that pan because that one is larger. And I'm going to go ahead and add in the rest of the Frontera sauce. And then I'm just going to give it a good mix, turn the heat down, and let it simmer for a minute or two. and then it should be done and ready to plate up. And then I just have to finish the cauliflower rice. Basically, once the liquid evaporates, it will be done as well. So this meal is actually really easy to throw together. Doesn't take that long. And it is super low in points. This comes out to 1 point on the blue plan and even on my personal points. So the cauliflower rice needs a little bit more time and then it will be ready. So let me finish this up and then we will plate up. Okay, so the fajitas are done. I'm gonna go ahead and plate those up. The cauliflower rice is almost done. Hopefully by the time I get this plated up, it will be ready to plate up as well. So we are just going to divide it into these 6 containers. I love to use these that have the 2 slots because then I have a spot for the chicken fajitas, and then I will put the cauliflower rice on the small end. Okay, so the cauliflower rice is done. We are just going to go through and divide it between the 6 containers as well. And that's what one portion will look like. So let me get this done and then I'll show them to you once they're finished. Okay, here are the completed chicken fajitas, looking and smelling delicious. Highly recommend this meal. Again, this comes out to, I think, 1 point per serving on the blue plan. Again, easy meal. Took about 30 minutes to put all of this together. So, and we will eat this with baked Tostitos. Charlie actually will probably use wraps and make his into like real fajitas, but I just eat the meat and the fajita, the meat and the peppers by themselves. I don't use the wraps. But anyway, gonna get this put away and we're gonna get started on the chicken noodle soup. Alrighty, we are ready to get started on the homemade chicken noodle soup. This is from budgetbites.com and it actually just has a few ingredients and it is delicious. A couple of things that I'm not gonna use is the olive oil or the onion that it calls for, only because we don't like onions, but if you like it then just go ahead and use onions. I'm just gonna use olive oil spray. We do need 3 cloves of garlic, so I'm just gonna use 3 teaspoons of this garlic. You need some carrots. It calls for half a pound of carrots, half a bunch of celery. Charlie has that diced up here. 2 split chicken breasts. It calls for bone in. These are boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And then it calls for, I think, like 8 cups of water or something. I'm also going to add in some chicken broth since I don't have the bone-in chicken, just to give it a little bit more flavor. And then in here I have a teaspoon of basil, a tablespoon of dried parsley, and then a bay leaf. I kind of have 1.5 bay leaves, but there was just a little piece there, so I decided to use both of them. Some salt and pepper, and then some egg noodles. Instead of egg noodles, I'm going to use this light rotini from Fabric Gourmet. I love this stuff. It's really low in points, and I get it on Amazon, so that should be linked in my Amazon store if you are interested in ordering that. You can also order it straight from Fabric Gourmet, and there's also other websites you can get it on as well. So this takes a little while to cook. I mean, it doesn't take no time to throw together, but I think it does have to simmer for like, I don't know, a little over an hour or something. So I'm going to get this on and just let it simmer until it is done and the chicken kind of pulls apart easily. Okay, so I have my big pot here for the chicken noodle soup. I just picked this up at, I think, Marshall's for $24.99. It's not a heavy pot or anything. It's pretty lightweight, but it is big and it holds a lot. So I do like it. I'm going to spray my olive oil spray in here, and then we're going to saute the carrots and the celery and the garlic. So it calls for 3 cloves of garlic, so I'm just going to use like 3 teaspoons of this minced garlic. It's 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and go in with my celery and our carrots as well. And I'm just going to let this saute for a couple of minutes, and then we'll be back and add everything else. You never want to burn your garlic, so just always be aware that it can burn easily. So just a couple of minutes and then this should be good to go. Okay, so I think this has been simmering long enough now. We're going to go ahead and start adding in everything else. So we're going to go ahead and add in our chicken breast, which I salt and peppered one side. I'm going to salt and pepper the other side as well. I'm going to wash my hands, be right back. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my basil, parsley, thyme, and my bay leaf. And it calls for some freshly cracked pepper. I'm just going to use this pepper that I have here. And then it calls for 8 cups of water. This is an 8-cup measuring cup. Now hopefully y'all can hear me. And I am going to go ahead and go in with 2 cans of chicken broth. Again, it does not call for the chicken broth, but since I'm not using bone-in chicken, I have been adding chicken broth, and I like to have a little extra liquid. Anyway, it does kind of cook down as this sits here and simmers. Okay, so basically we're going to bring this to a boil. We're going to put the lid on it, and it's going to simmer for at least an hour. until the chicken is nice and tender, cooked fully through, and shreds easily. So that's all that there is to it, and then we will be back and check on it. I'll stir it here and there. I'm probably going to make my breakfast real quick and get it out of the way, and then we will make the muffins and the cookies. So lid on, and then we'll be back. I'm just going to set my timer here for 1 hour. Okay, so we'll be back. All right, we are ready to do the corn muffins. So for the corn muffins, I have 1.5 cups of self-rising cornmeal. I'm going to put that in. This is such a simple recipe. I'm going to use 1.5 cans of this cream style corn. I'm going to weigh it out to where it's 21 ounces. There's about 14 ounces or so in a can, so cream style corn is not 0 point, so I always do weigh it. They got 13.45 ounces. There we go, 21.05, perfect. Then we're going to use 3 tablespoons of egg whites. Or if you have whole eggs, you can just use 3 egg whites. So there's 1, 2, 3. Then I'm just going to stir it well, and it will be ready to scoop into the 12 muffins. And these come out to 3 points each. I think it does roll up to 7 points whenever you have 2. Okay, so I have my muffin tin here. I have just sprayed it with the baking spray. And so I'm just going to use an ice cream scoop and scoop it into the 12 muffins. Okay, they're ready to go in the oven. I have it preheated to 400 degrees, and they're going to go in for about 15 minutes. All right, here are the completed corn muffins, fresh out of the oven. They are nice and hot, looking good. Cannot wait to eat these. Y'all don't know how good these are. They're so easy. We love them. All right, y'all. So soup is looking good. I just shredded the 2 chicken breasts and put them back in there, so it's not boiling at the moment, but I'm trying to bring it to a boil again. I did add a little bit more water to it because a lot of the water seems to kind of go down, so I just added a couple of cups of water to it just to bring it back up, because I still have to boil the noodles, which is what we're getting ready to do now. At this point, it does say to add 2 to 3 teaspoons of salt. So I'm just going to use my salt in my little salt mill here, and I do think that this is an important step. It really helps give it a good flavor. So we're just going to kind of go in with like 3 teaspoons, almost 3 teaspoons there. And then it calls for egg noodles, but we are going to use this Fiber Gourmet rotini noodles, and these are 2 points per serving. They are 100 calories a serving, 1 gram of fat, 41 carbs, 7 grams of protein. But I really like this pasta. Again, you can get it on Amazon or straight from Fiber Gourmet. So I'm going to go ahead and put all of this in, and then bring it back up to a boil, and I'm just going to let these boil for about 7 minutes or so, and then it will be done and be ready to plate up. Alrighty, I was just going to show y'all that the chicken noodle soup is ready to plate up. Charlie is going to plate it up for us because I have started working on my cookies, so that way we can try to get this wrapped up pretty quickly, but he's just going to divide it evenly in those 6 containers, and then I will show it to you. Alright everyone, we are making my chocolate peanut butter protein cookies. Got my recipe out here. It's been a minute since I made it. I don't want to miss anything. So for this, you are going to need 1 scoop of the PE Science Select protein powder. This is in the frosted chocolate cupcake. Highly recommend PE Science protein powders. They are so good. So we're going to do 1 scoop of that. And then we're going to do 1 scoop of the Matrix peanut butter cookie protein powder. I love this protein powder too. The last one I ordered was a 5-pound bag of it because they were out of the 2-pound tubs. I may save my tub though and see if I can fit that one in here. But anyway, so a scoop of each of those. And then we're going to go in with 10 grams of the Hershey's Special Dark Cocoa. Okay, so then I'm going to go in with 5 grams of this sugar-free Jell-O chocolate fudge pudding mix. Well, that was 6 grams, but that finished that one off. Then I'm going to go in with a big tablespoon of the baking powder. nice heaping tablespoon of that, and that is all of the dried goods. That's all of the dry ingredients, so I'm just going to mix those well. Okay, so that is mixed well. Now we are going to go in with our pumpkin. I'm going to use half a can of pumpkin. There's 425 grams in here, so I'm going to use about 215 grams. Okay, there, that's perfect. That's 215 grams. And we're going to go in with about 150 grams of egg whites. Or you could use less if you need to. It really kind of depends on the consistency. That's 150 exactly. Okay, so I feel like that's a pretty good consistency. You don't want it too thick, you don't want it too thin. And the last step is to add in some of the Lily's no sugar added dark chocolate baking chips. Or really any of the Lily's no sugar added chips are fine. So I'm just going to add 14 grams of these. And this is almost empty, but you know I do have another one. Okay, I'm just going to stir in these chocolate chips, and then it will be ready to divide into 12 cookies. And if you made them smaller, you could probably get 15 cookies out of it. Okay, I'm going to clean up real quick, and then we will get the cookies ready to go in the oven. Alright, so we're ready to get these on the baking sheet. I'm just going to spray it with my baking spray. And then I'm just going to use my little cookie scoop and scoop it into 12 cookies. They are ready to go in the oven. I have it preheated at 350 degrees, and these are going to go in only for about 9 to 10 minutes. You don't want to over bake these. Alrighty, here are my cookies fresh out of the oven, looking and smelling great. So can't wait to have these this week. Of course, I always let them completely cool and store them in the refrigerator, and then I usually eat 3 of them per night, and it is 2 points. It's 1 point for one cookie, and it's 2 points for either 2 or 3. So super excited to have my cookies back again this week. Alrighty guys, meal prep is done for the day. We have our chicken fajitas over here, all ready to go with the Spanish cauliflower rice. I have my cookies plated up back here. Super excited about those. Here is the chicken noodle soup. Charlie plated that up for us today while I was working on the cookies so that we could get done. And then we will have the corn muffins to pair along with the chicken noodle soup. And then I made my scrambled eggs and my bacon for the week. So overall, I think I completed another successful meal prep. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me for another Sunday meal prep. I hope that you enjoyed today's prep. Hope that you're happy to see the chocolate cookies back again this week. I feel good about this week's meal plan, and I hope that you try some of these meals. I'm sure that you probably have before. If you haven't, definitely recommend them. I will have the link for the homemade chicken soup down below. That is from budgetbites.com, and then I will have the chicken fajita recipe and the Spanish cauliflower rice recipe typed out down below. So be sure to check out the description box, and if you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button as well, and give this video a like because it really helps out my channel. And thank you so much to all of my Jennifer's Gems that make it all the way to the end of the video. I love all of you guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Mwah.